something. Okay. Right. Good evening, Coach.
Evening to you, Victor. You good?
Good. It's a really exciting time right now because today is when we are launching the WakiliCMS and CallPesa integration. It's been coming, and I'm just glad it's finally here. For the benefit of our users, CallPesa, this integration essentially enables WakiliCMS users to obtain billable call data straight into their accounts for aggregated billing. So, as long as you're a WakiliCMS user, you and you're going to talk about this in detailed level, you literally just set up a CallPesa account on WakiliCMS, and then you go to the Play Store, download CallPesa, and then log in with your phone number, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's the procedure.
So it's a very simple integration in terms of usability, a much needed one, because with regards to billable time, especially billable communication, that isn't happening as it should right now. So there's a lot of leakage in terms of revenue. And the hope is that with this integration, that loophole can be sealed. Right. So I guess, yes, George, I mean, you just jump in and then tell us all about it.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that, Victor. Yes, this is very exciting for us too, being that it is one of the integrations that we've been doing this year. And one of our themes starting in 2021 was that we'll do more of integrations with other systems to enhance the capacity and capability of WakiliCMS and its sister software, Litlo. So the two softwares have the integration enabled, and I'll just take the users through the system, through the login procedure, how to register for a profile, and then how to import your call data, as well as sending it for onward billing. So
great.
Allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, are you able to see my screen now, Victor?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, users of WakiliCMS have to type in a particular URL that enables them to access their account. And whatever steps I show on WakiliCMS are basically replicable in a Litlo. So there is nothing different. It's the same system, the same module. The interface is a bit different for a Litlo, but the concept and the processes are basically the same. So let me just log in onto my demo account. Yeah, right. So once you log in onto WakiliCMS, users have this kind of an interface and displaying a lot of data regarding other modules and features of the system. But in this instance, they'll be able to get the add-on or the CallPesa module from the add-on menu that is located on the top right of their screens. So clicking on that button will show a set of what we call add-ons, and CallPesa will be one of them, right? So simply they would go there, click on CallPesa, and that would pop up a form that at the very beginning would be blank since no call has been imported yet, right? So it will look basically like this. So what a user would be meant to do would be to register a profile, right? So they would come here to say view profile. The reason why you have an extra step to view is because you could have more than one profile, meaning that you have more than one telephone number. So if you can imagine, you have got two gadgets, two mobile phones. One has a Safaricom line, one an Airtel line. You could register the two profiles belonging to you and download CallPesa on the two gadgets. So that's the reason why you have an extra step. First of all, view your profile, and at this particular point, you can register a profile. So let me just go ahead and just register a simple profile for myself. I'll just repeat that. My email address, I typed this before, but the names can be picked directly from the system, right? Okay. So all users have, we have all their content and their names, so this can just be fetched automatically. Mm-hmm. I'll put in a charge of trade of 500 shillings per minute. And a settlement account. I believe the settlement account is an account with which you want to be paid to. So if I'm paying this through M-Pesa, then they can be paid direct to my number or a pay bill number, or till number, all those then are options. But by default, I believe just putting in your telephone number, would work for that. Okay. So let me just go ahead and register that profile. And as you remember, we said you can register more than one profile. So if you have an Airtel line, go ahead and register an Airtel line, a telecom line, and so forth. They all belong to you, and you can get and make calls from any one of your lines, right? Okay. Let me close that. And this is what you'd get. This is just my account, for example. And by default, anybody logging in or registering their profiles via WakiliCMS has the industry type as legal. Okay. The business name is fetched automatically, being the name of the law firm. The industry type is fetched as legal. Your subscription is on a trial version, or a trial mode, that will expire in 7 days. And thus will make this expiry on the 15th of August. So 7 days from now, including the 7th day itself, and that brings us to 15th of August.
All right. So let me just chime in a bit. So this is, so with these credentials, all I need to do is download CallPesa from Play Store and then log in with these credentials, right? So I don't need to register afresh from the app.
Exactly. Exactly. We've already done the registration process via the system. So on the CallPesa servers, there's already the email address, your telephone number, and your PIN. So all you have to do is just download the CallPesa app and simply log in with the same PIN number that you registered the system.
Your phone number and your PIN. All right. And then
your phone number and your PIN. Exactly.
Right. And then also just to clarify for the benefit of our users, by default, you get the trial version, which is basically 7 days of the premium tier of CallPesa. It has all the features, including billing, invoicing notifications, real-time billing, which is what the lawyer in this case would be using, and a host of other features. For the purpose of this demo, I won't delve into them, but please visit callpesa.com. So after the 7 days trial, then the subscription automatically reverts back to the free version. Yeah. And with the free version, you can still have access to this integration.
Exactly. Yes. But the free version does not limit you. You still get access to all the platforms, and you can still import your call data. Indeed. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
So let me go ahead and close this form. And again, we still have an empty sort of dashboard. We haven't imported our records yet. For the administrators, we have various user groups in the system, and some of these users of the system are actually administrators of the system in one capacity or another, be it those who are like partners who approve on invoices, and the partners also who and administrators who approve on file opening. The administrators in one capacity or another have an extra button labeled admin at this particular point, which allows them two things. This all the administrator, they are allowed to view call records for all users, right? So admins can see call records for all users, while at the same time also configure for billable items. So I clicked on the config button, and this allows me to pick billable items such as telephone, for example. So what this means is that when we want to send our call logs for onward billing, they must be attached to a billable item. So the config is just to set it up. It's a one-time event. It's not done every day. It's just one time. And they just simply say that every call log is going to go to our billable item called telephone or whatever else that is there that they wish to map the two. So when that is done, then you're good to go, right?
Right. Awesome.
So let me close that form and let me close the admin form. And let me go ahead and just click on refresh. Let's see what happens here. Right? So that procedure that we just done by clicking on the refresh button allows us to fetch our call logs, right? And this just is done once and comes on. If you do it a second time, then the record, for example, this record will be found that it's already in place, so it doesn't have to be put in again, right? So it just fetches the fresh call log. So if we make another phone call for another 1 hour or 2 hours, if I click on the refresh, I just fetch that which we did that 1 or 2 hours, right? So that's the idea. Your call logs would show the date, the mobile number. I've just obscured some of these details. The customer name, the duration in seconds, amount billed. So this is prorated based on your hourly amount. So if it's 1,000 shillings and you've gone for 446 seconds, then it's 4 shillings and 5 cents, something like that, right? So it's just a proration calculation based on that. You've got the call type, whether it's ongoing or outgoing, incoming or outgoing. If it's been settled, client and file is a mapping that will occur there. You've got your call category, it's business or private. So every phone call fetched into the system is marked as business automatically.
By default.
You have, by default. And you have the capacity to change it to say whether it's a private call so that it's not billed, right? You can also show whether it's billable or not, or whether it has been billed or not. So there's a difference here. It simply says it's billable. We should bill it. And this says, have we actually billed it? Okay. And so if I wish to send this for onward billing, then I have two choices. I could map the client to whom this call should go to, and at the same time send it for billing. So if I say that I know this customer of this telephone number, this was coming from Acme Corporation, and I'll map it to file number A6, for example, right? I could do that. It's a business call. I could still say that it's private, right? I could toggle one of these options. So by default, it's still a business call. And do I want to send it for billing? The answer to that is yes. I just mark it as yes and submit that. Right.
Fantastic. And so you could equally just add, you could just give it some context by adding notes, right? So that
exactly. As you remember down there was a bit of notes here. I picked this automatically, so I just wrote out an outward call. This number, the customer name made on this particular date lasting for those 7. I could still add more, right? We discussed about, I could type all that and then simply submit it also.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's absolutely possible.
Right.
And once you have that, then of course you can see the record updates and say that it's Acme, it's billable and has been billed. So this one has gone out for forward billing. And at the end of the month, when we raise fee notes for our clients, we can include this particular call log as a billable item, as an item within our fee note, and then send that to the client. Yeah.
Awesome. Just on the notes, on CallPesa, we have a feature where the user could add notes. Is that also pulled when you hit the refresh button?
No. I'm not pulling the call notes at the moment. But indeed, we could pull it. We could pull it so that the note then it's actually available at the point of sending it for billing, so that you don't have to really retype it back again. So we'll just make a small adjustment there. We go to pick the notes and then move forward from that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So we have that. The report would so this is just a list of logs. And at the very bottom, would also be able to show a bit of pie charts in terms of just a little bit of reporting purposes. We'll build bigger reports on this. to reflect most called numbers or the time at which you make more calls than another time. So we could really profile that data. And as you can see, it's not just so much about billing, but it's also to understand your customers. Sometimes you wonder, at what point do I receive most of my calls? Perhaps you receive most of your calls between 10 and 12 a.m. PM. Who knows, right? So it's always good to understand that data. And as you know, where the world is heading, it's all about data. The more data you have, then the better you know, the better you understand your customers, the more you understand your users, and all that, right? Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is an excellent add-on. I mean, over and above billing, as you say, it just shows the user their billing trends. For example, who do they talk to more often, at what particular time, which bills go unbilled for a longer period of time. That kind of data is important, and it's certainly a good addition. It's not existing anywhere today, and certainly I'm sure they'll appreciate that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we of course have a lot of room to grow. There are already reports that are already on the pipeline, and as you mentioned, is one good one that you've said. How many of these calls go unbilled? And what's the value in that? You see, you could say, well, we haven't billed 10 calls, but what's the value of that? It's very good to understand the value that you actually are losing money by not billing your clients for your calls, right?
Exactly. I think previously, when we talk to our clients, there's always that apprehension whether it's necessary, and I say yes, it is necessary, because the billing aspect, you miss it incrementally, right? So it compounds. Because it's very easy to bill 3 hours of a meeting, but what about those 10 minutes, those 15 minutes, those 5 minutes? They compound and they become quite a lot in terms of missed revenue. So again, that sort of helps them capture that. We're able to seal all loopholes by ensuring if it's a business call, tap on the button, bring the call, and you can capture as much and seal those revenue leaks as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And we know so many other jurisdictions out there that actually bill by the time.
Yeah.
Right. We don't do so much of that in Kenya, but it's a growing trend out there that everything is billed by the time. So a phone call, an email, an SMS is actually billed.
Exactly.
Like somebody sat down to write you an SMS and an email, and they will bill for that.
Exactly.
We find a way to just look at this data. And first of all, we just start at the point of looking at the data. You might find that a firm does not have the policy to bill, because one thing I try to emphasize mostly to clients when we get to talk is that if there's no policy in place, then it's difficult to roll out some programs or some tech, because we don't have a policy. So even without a policy in place, just seeing the data makes you want to create a policy. So I mean, we are losing so much. Why don't we then say everybody in the office must have CallPesa downloaded on their phones, configured properly, so that every phone call is captured. And always log in once a day also and refresh the list so that the list comes in. And you can also build other redundancies where if you don't pull in the logs within 48 hours, the system pulls up for you automatically. See, those are things that progress faster when there's a policy in place.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And again, we can only make that first step if the data is there, because as I said, having a policy that's not backed by any data, again, is just adding into the problem, right?
Exactly.
Not helping.
Exactly.
And where we are right now is we're in a new normal, as has been said everywhere. We're in a new normal. And there's this growing perception that people will get back to the old ways of doing things. So there's the new normal, and then there's the clash that things need to go back to the way they were.
Mm-hmm.
And my response to that is always, well, where we were was lost revenue, was unproductivity, was spending time in unbillable tasks, was not measuring that time, right? So again, we need to have that conversation where it shifts to this new normal. If not for anything, have the data. Have the data.
Yeah, have the data. Have the data. Yes. Yeah. Start from there, and then you just find things moving a bit faster because the data shows you the true reflection of what is happening on the ground. Before you'll just be saying, oh, perhaps we're losing this, or perhaps we are doing this, but data tells you you are.
Exactly.
Or you're not, you know. Yeah. Good. Right. Looking forward to rolling it out, to having as many users, just appreciating the idea, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, certainly. I'm super excited as well. This is primarily for your existing user base, but other people who see this who may not have enrolled for WakiliCMS or CallPesa may see a need, right? I think every law firm right now should have a legal practice management system. And add to that, they need to have complementary tools like CallPesa. So, the hope is that, they like this integration and they use it. As we said, it's a free integration. So we're offering it to you for free. At CallPesa side, our most expensive tier is only 200 bob, which is $2 thereabout. Again, you will have realized all your costs by day one by instituting this add-on. So
certainly.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
And remember, sorry.
I don't know if there's something else you may have missed, or this integration is simple. Like, this is why it ends.
Yeah. That's basically it. We believe in simplicity. Anything else that we'll probably add in another week or so will be a bit of reporting. It's always good to have an extra line of reporting. Yeah. So we'll do that in another week or so. But the system is as simple as that. Just click on the refresh, done. Just pulls in your log, and all you're left to do is to say, am I sending this for billing, or do I just need to have the data there? Period, right? And so we probably would build a little bit more of customization between one client and another. And one of the customizations would be, as long as the call is marked as business, send them to billing every 48 hours, for example, so that you don't have to go through the steps of, perhaps client mapping. Or well, at least mapping is important, but once you've mapped and you haven't sent it for billing, then within 48 hours or so, then you can send that to billing on your behalf. So I'm sure there's a bit of customization we'll always play around with from one client to another. But in essence, the interface is just that. That's the integration. Create your profile, download CallPesa, log in, make your phone calls. End of day, click on the refresh button. We import the call logs, decide when you want to send it for billing, done.
Yeah. I like it. Awesome. Well, ladies and gents, this marks the end of this session. In case you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can reach out to me at vic@callpesa.com or George at infinitesolutions.com. And get to using the integration. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Right, George. Cool, man. Let's end this.
All right.
And return to our family.
All right. For sure. Let me just stop the share.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay, cool, man. Talk soon.
Okay, talk soon. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks.